Hey, I told you 2025 is going to be a little different. I'm moving a little bit more consistent. So that's 3 videos in a week and a half. So if you clicked on this one and haven't watched my previous 2 that I posted, go check them out. So today's video is going to be a mid-fade transitioning into a curl sponge look on top. Now I cut his hair down to a long number 4. I bring that up because when I started out, and I see it a lot of times with young barbers on TikTok, and you guys tag me on Instagram, is having trouble transitioning the fade into the longer hair on top. When I was younger, I would just do a fade and kind of just leave the hair on top disconnected, and that's like the worst look. So in today's video, I'm gonna show you guys how I transition a fade to seamlessly blend into the hair on top rather than be disconnected. Hey, random fact, I'm filming this video Saturday before Super Bowl Sunday. I got the Chiefs winning, obviously. But if you didn't know, me and Patrick Mahomes got the same middle name. I don't know if it's just greatness within us light-skinned niggas, but you already know who I'm rocking with. Let's get into the video. All right, y'all, let's get started. The number 1 tip I can give from new barbers when starting any type of fade is avoid trying to start it with the trimmers, because when you put that hard line in with the trimmers, it's so hard to blend out if you're not skillful and experienced in doing so. So just close your lever on any clipper that you use, no guard, and then start your first line like that. So our first guideline moving upwards is going to be a no guard lever open. You're going to put that right on top of lever close, and in between they're going to be left with the line that you need to blend out. So you put the lever halfway and it blends it out very easy. So our second guideline is going to be a number 1 guard lever open, and I want you guys to notice my technique throughout the video is if I ever create a guideline, the lever is going to be open. That way I can use that same guard and come back down and just lighten up that line that I just created. So in this case, it's a number 1 guard open, and then I'll slap on a number 1 guard close, come back down and lighten up that area, and then I'll just follow that up with a 0.5 guard and blend that line out completely. So it's open, come back down, close, switch to a smaller guard. So our last quote-unquote guideline is going to be a number 1 guard lever open. Now I say that because you don't really want to create a guideline. We're going to start blending out the top of this fade. So if you happen to create a guideline, it's fine. It's long enough to deal with, but you don't really want to create a guideline. You want to start blending at this point. So if there is any dark spots under there, which there should be, you're going to just close that 1.5 guard and blend out any dark spots. So the back of the head is the area of bald fades that I see a lot of young barbers struggle with, and that's why I said avoid using a trimmer to create your guideline to start, because if you don't know how to blend out a bottom line, the whole fade's gonna end up looking like a bowl cut just off the bottom portion. So using no guard lever open and close and blending out the bottom portion of the fade is just as important as anything else with this haircut. Now, if you guys notice, when I created my first guideline with lever closed, we kind of dropped that line down a little bit towards the back of his neck. Not completely, it's not a drop fade, it's more of a mid fade. But what that does, it allows the fade to have some type of depth and shape. It's just not a full on, high ball fade. You kind of want to drop that line towards the back of the head. That way, when you blend it out, it has some depth, has some shadow to it. to take down the top hair, we're gonna use a number 4 guard lever open. You can freehand this, you can use shears, but if I can slap on a guard, I'm gonna slap on a guard. It just makes my life a lot easier. And we're gonna curl sponge it, so it really doesn't matter the shape of it. You just wanna have everything be the same length. So to blend the longer hair down into the fade, like I was talking about in the beginning of the video, you want to go with the grain. Now I'm using the number 2 to lightly lay down these hairs in this region, and that's how you get that effect of that hair blending seamlessly into the top. Now I'm going to flip it over to with that number 2 and go against the grain, but like I said, you can use a number 1 guard in this area, number 2. Sometimes you can go no guard depending on how short the top is, but going with the grain is the key to lay these hairs down and blend them seamlessly into the longer hair. So moving on to the hairline prep, we're going to use a number 1 guard lever open with the grain. You want to do this so we lay these hairs down and they don't curl back up. The flatter the hair lays, the crispier the lineup's going to be. You want to follow that up with some rubbing alcohol to degrease the skin. We're going to remove any oils, dirt, sweat, anything that's going to get in the way of clipper and skin. And after that, as always, I apply some hairspray to hold those hairs in place. And when you combine laying the hair down, cleaning the skin, and hairspray, crispiest lineup. So for the enhancements, we're going to be using a semi-permanent hair dye solution and a wireless airbrush. Now, the number 1 tip I always give you guys is less is more. Spray the minimum, and if the minimum's enough, leave it alone. Now, if you need to spray more, you can always spray more, but don't just spray a lot to begin with, and then it just looks crazy. And the last thing we need to do with this look is apply some curl moves followed up by a curl comb. You guys can use a curl sponge, or I don't know what else I have out nowadays, but you know, it's just a very short curl sponge look down with the mid fade, and that's it. Hey bro, if you want more videos just like this one, please drop a comment and like the video. Commenting is more important than anything because it lets YouTube know like, hey, this video's cracking. Let's get it out there more. So if you fuck with me in any type of way, just drop a comment and like the video. Other than that, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.